In Season 3, Reacher devises a convoluted scheme to break into suspected drug runner Beck's business. And the more he digs, the more intricate it becomes. Persuader, the seventh book in author Lee Child's Jack Reacher series, is adapted for the third season. When Reacher, Alan Ritchson, spots an old enemy he believed he had slain years ago while out on the streets, the drama really gets started. This leads to some DEA agents enlisting Reacher for a risky undercover operation involving rug importer Zach Beck, Anthony Michael Hall. After saving Beck's son Richard, Johnny Berchtold, from an attempted kidnapping, the titular character of Reacher Season 3 finds himself in Beck's property. As the hurried plan Reacher came up with DEA agent Duffy, Sonia Cassidy, steadily falls apart around them, the first 3 episodes stay true to Persuader, where Reacher must adapt and outthink his new employers. The two have different objectives for breaking into Beck's company. Reacher wants to assassinate Quinn, Brian T., once and for all, while Duffy wants to find a missing informant. How Beck's son was kidnapped and staged by Reacher and DEA agents. As Richson's anti-hero saves Richard from a kidnapping and returns him to Beck, the opening scene of Reacher Season 3 is a direct parody of Persuader. The possibility that Reacher would simply stumble onto a kidnapping and have a big magnum with him is one reason why series fans could assume something is wrong right away. This is due to the fact that Reacher, Duffy, and the other DEA agents meticulously planned out the kidnapping of Richard, which was a complex ploy to get Reacher inside Beck's estate. Reacher uses squibs to mimic gunshot while firing both real and blank ammunition. They must pretend that Richard's security has died by hurling a grenade, a flashbang meant to stun, into his vehicle. In order to avoid having to take Richard to the police, Reacher also makes it appear as though he accidentally murdered a police officer during the gunfight. However, DEA agent Villanueva, Roberto Montesinos, was set up with squibs to create the appearance of this. Essentially, it's a crazy scheme that would never work in real life, but in the Reacher universe, it's somehow okay. Additionally, it benefits them because Beck is grateful to Reacher for providing him with a job and a new residence. As Reacher anticipated, the strategy included flaws that they hadn't considered, which led to significant issues in subsequent episodes. The real purpose of Reacher's undercover mission with Beck. Reacher's most recent romantic interest, Agent Duffy, is the one who enlists him to accompany Beck on an undercover mission. She shares Reacher's personal connection to the mission. Teresa, a confidential informant she deployed undercover into Beck's operation, vanished after a while. Although the mission includes taking down Beck and his enigmatic employer, Duffy's primary objective is to save Teresa. Season 3 will be hinting at this enigma, much as Persuader. Although they are unsure of Teresa's condition, Reacher discovers her earring inside a cell in Beck's complex, demonstrating her presence. Reacher's goal is to track down Quinn and kill him for good. During Reacher's tenure with the 110th Special Investigators, Quinn worked in military intelligence and was suspected of selling secret intelligence. To help him probe the matter, Reacher enlisted a bright young sergeant called Cole, Mariah Robinson. Working together, the two became great friends, and Reacher eventually gave her the assignment to arrest Quinn. Sadly, Quinn wins out, and Reacher later finds Cole's severely disfigured body in Quinn's home. This prompted Reacher to find Quinn and shoot him in the head, which the renegade cop eventually survived, according to the book. The third episode of Season 3, called Number 2 with a Bullet, reveals that Quinn is Beck's boss. In an attempt to seize control of Beck's company, Quinn had his son Richard abducted, tortured, and had his ear amputated. How Reacher replaces Duke and covers up his 3 murders. The character turns into Beck's henchman in the second and third episodes of Reacher's third season. Reacher is assigned a number of menial duties, such as operating a vehicle or accompanying Beck's son into town. But Duke, Donald Sales, Beck's head of security, who actually works for Quinn, keeps Reacher in the dark about any internal affairs. Reacher determines he must succeed Duke as Beck's security chief going forward if he is to make any progress on his goal. Reacher is teamed with a criminal named Angel Dahl, played by Manuel Rodriguez Sáenz, in the second episode Truckin', before he can do anything with that. Their task is to identify the truck that the alleged kidnapping operated. Angel Dahl and Duke are investigating the likelihood that the kidnapping attempt was carried out by a rival gang, as Beck believes. Angel Doll finds gaps in Reacher's story when he examines the destroyed car because, regrettably for Reacher, he is not the most convincing actor. At the conclusion of Truckin', Reacher faces Ritchson's anti-hero and concludes that killing Angel Doll would be a simpler way to eliminate him as a threat. Reacher then leaves the Beck compound in secret to tidy up the actual mess he created with Angel Doll in episode 3, but two truckers who happen to stumble upon the scene attack him and Duffy. Reacher and Duffy murder them as well, concealing their bodies in empty containers. Duffy then uses Angel Doll's emails to trace his previous actions. Reacher asks her to send Duke an email from Angel Doll, claiming to be aware of the kidnapper's hiding place. Reacher has set up this trap to get the drop on Duke, and once they're inside, he aims his weapon at Beck's security chief. Reacher kills Duke with a shot to the head when Duke refuses to divulge any information and accuses him of being toothless because he believes he works for the DEA. After convincing Beck that a fierce conflict had just broken out, he blows up the house to eliminate any remaining proof. Additionally, Reacher gives Beck Angel Doll's gun because Beck thinks the former sold him out to a rival gang. Why Beck's second-in-command had to be Reacher? Although it's nearly inspirational, Reacher's quick ascent up Beck's organizational ladder is highly intentional. Reacher must quickly learn the ins and outs of Beck's business, since Duke and Polly, Olivier Richter's, are extremely skeptical of him and Teresa may be running out of time. Since Beck lacks men, Reacher is the only viable option to replace Duke, who must be removed from the equation in order for this to occur.